Good Wednesday afternoon to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights Consulting. This weather video driven by 802cars.com. It represents 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, 802 Honda, all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Looking at some plumes of smoke, a couple different ones here. You can see this to the west. It may be drifting into Vermont. Sort of in between the thicker plume, which is off to the north and east. This is coming over the top of a very large ridge of higher pressure. And this will probably be the last of the smoke today, at least, before more clouds and moisture works on in. Let's take a look at what's going on across the country. So in the upper levels, at 18,000 feet or so, the 500 hectopascal heights thicknesses, you can see the area of low pressure here. That's over the areas producing a lot of that smoke. That's some forest fires or wildfires that are up in southern Manitoba near Lake Winnipeg, sort of northeastern North Dakota, up in this general area. They're receiving some rain, so maybe these fires will be dampened out and producing less smoke in the near future. In the meantime, it's this weather system that will slide to our east. Right now, it's a ridge of higher pressure that's producing all of the great conditions, the lead up to that anyway. And you can see the smoke that's kind of working its way over this ridge of higher pressure and dropping in on a northwesterly flow aloft. Let's take a look at the current temperatures, and then we'll get to dew points and whatnot. Pretty warm weather scooting out ahead of this upper level trough, and behind it some cooler weather. You can see temperatures basically in the west in the 60s and getting into the 70s, but some 90s trying to creep in from the desert southwest, and this is going to be making a run-ass through the day today. We're not going to see any moisture associated with this except a little bit stronger dew points or higher dew points, and that measured with those dew point temperatures, you can see that we're into the 60s after being in the 50s and even 40s on Monday. It looks like, by the way, we will return to that sort of very dry and comfortable condition during about Sunday afternoon into Monday and Tuesday of next week. It's looking very, very nice around the corner, but some unsettled weather associated with this trough of lower pressure and yet another system that'll be dropping in from the northwest. Let's take a look at the 6-hourly incremental models. I'm going to run these relatively fast. So this is 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. You can see still dry weather. And then we start to see some moisture creep in. Now the panel to the left is the most recent European model run. The panel to the right is 12 hours ago. But you can see they're in fairly decent agreement. We got the shower and thunderstorms that'll be developing, it looks like, mostly in the afternoon on Thursday, and this will continue. And it looks like this is valid 2 p.m. on Friday, where most of the heavy action has pushed off to the east across eastern parts of New England. Still some leftover showers, then they dry up. And then we're looking at generally a drier stretch up until the time we get another shortwave trough that's going to be working in. And this shortwave trough here is one that's going to be bringing us a little round of showers and thunderstorms, it looks like, on Saturday evening. And it pushes out of the region, it looks like, on Sunday, so that's good news. And then we get into Monday, which is going to be pretty fabulous. Right here, we got dry weather pretty much region-wide, and this will probably linger into the day on Tuesday beyond this period. Now we get into Wednesday. You can see another shower and thunderstorm patch that'll be working in from disturbance crossing through Quebec, dragging a cold front more than likely through the region. And then beyond that, we're going to see some of that moisture. So this is the moisture from Tropical Storm Barry. At least this is what the European model is projecting. All of this is speculation in the future. This is going to be the development point. So let's go back and take a look at that again. So keep your eyes on the Gulf Coast. This is Tropical Storm Barry. Choose either panel, but this is the most current. So this is south of the Mississippi Delta, and you can see that it makes a right turn here, roughly right in the vicinity of the Texas-Louisiana border, and then pushes in sort of paralleling the Mississippi a little bit to the west, pushes into parts of Oklahoma, and then this moisture gets caught up in the westerly flow of the jet stream, works its way around the ridge of higher pressure, the Bermuda High, and then into Vermont. This would be valid Friday evening around 8 p.m. if it does happen. Now with this, you're looking at precipitable water, and of course the red is the higher precipitable water. You can easily see this by looking at the Tropical Storm Barry down here with their very high counts. This is running about 3 to 4 or 5 sigma standard deviation. But we're looking at generally much less extraordinary amounts of moisture working in, kind of a double patch. And then that leaves us on, looks like on Friday morning. We get into drier weather for a short period of time on Saturday, and then about average 1 sigma. That moves in on Saturday night with more showers and thunderstorms, and then we dry out for the early part of next week. And just carrying that through, you can see that increased moisture for the middle part of next week in the longer range. And watching the extra moisture there at the last panel, valid Friday evening around 8 o'clock, you can see that we have some pretty juiced up moisture associated with the tropical storm Barry. Current, we have dry weather, and we're going to get into some showers and some thunderstorms. This is going to happen on Thursday. It looks like it lingers into Thursday night, of course, and into the morning hours on Friday. So looking at the total 3-hourly, those are the 3-hourly QPFs, and then the total amount of precipitation. Note that the blue line here, this is the latest model run, only about 0.6 of an inch. Now the other models prior to this have been keeping it pretty healthy, greater than 1 inch amounts. The European is definitely more down here, so at this point in time it doesn't look like it's going to be anything major. But we could see some locally heavy rainfall in some of those storm bullseyes, and it does look like we could see some precipitable water higher around 1.7 inches here, peaking out, and then we get drier, and then later next week we'll see similar things. Here are the days featuring convection or CAPE, convective available potential energy, greater than 1,000 joules per kilogram. And then looks like a little bit of a downfall, and then a little bit on leftovers on Friday, and then we get into Saturday and so forth. Nothing real major here to look at. We will have thunderstorms, though. Coupling thunderstorms with shear. We're generally in this area here, and it's generally less than 35 knots, which is good news. Okay, so checking the Weather Prediction Center 7-day total QPF. This goes out 7 days now. So first, looking at Vermont, we're about a half an inch or so is what they're thinking, with 1 inch amounts to the north, a storm track here, another storm track here. Of course, this is all tropical moisture, 10 inches being advertised. No, that's a 16 inches. Anyway, this is for southern parts of Louisiana associated with Tropical Storm Barry, and then it makes that right turn, and there's the track, of course. Current temperatures, near neutral here for the northeast United States. How do you like that? Above normal to the south of us and off to the west of us. Here's a cool spot. Of course, that's going to be associated with Tropical Storm Barry. Now, about 3 days later, those are the 5-day max temperatures. Meteorological output statistics weighted. And then 3 days later, look at that. We got a heat wave, or at least warm conditions coast to coast. And we've been running anywhere from 6 to 9 degrees above normal in parts of southern New England into some parts of Vermont. Around the world, this is baked Alaska. You've been hearing a lot about that, but it's not just Alaska. Look at that. That extends into a good portion of Siberia. Australia's pretty warm, but here is where it's really warm. Look at this. These temperatures in this general area running about 15 to 20 degrees Celsius above normal in Antarctica. Colder than normal temperatures up in the Yukon area, south and east, into the central part of the U.S., and also western parts of, looks like Eurasia. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.